At midfield, number 19, Madison Brooks. At forward, number 22, Kaylee Kraskowski. At forward, number 23, Caitlin Wall. At midfield, number 28, Lexi DeSora. At forward, number 29, Carly Hepner. At backer, number 32, Brianna Marinari. And in goal, number 00, Kira Kettlehutt. The Hornets are coached by Elizabeth Pike and assisted by Kim Lucas. And now, starting for your night, at midfield, number 2, Courtney Montez. At defense, number 4, Haley Gadd. At midfield, number 6, Claire Stevens. At forward, number 8, Macy Rackman. At defense, number 9, Ella Thomas. At midfield, number 11, Madison Solis. At midfield, number 17, Mabel Harris. At midfield, number 19, McKenna Winterton. At defense, number 21, Tessa Miller. At midfield, number 25, Ellie Owens. And in goal for the night, number 00, Katrina Gardner. The Knights are coached by Rob Dahl and assisted by Eric Dahl and Shelby Polian. Now, if you will all please rise and face the flag for the playing of our nation's national anthem. Luck to both sides.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Night Field here in beautiful Buena Vista, Virginia. I'm Colby Kemp here with my colleague Rock Giles to provide the commentary tonight as the Lady Knights of Southern Virginia take on the Hornets of Shenandoah University. Rock, we're coming off just 24 hours since the Knights took on another ODAC opponent in the Bridgewater Eagles, a match that saw a scoreless first half, and then the Eagles broke through first. The Knights tied it, and then soon after, the Eagles scored the game winner. But now we got Shenandoah. Their preseason ranking in the ODAC is 7th, which the Eagles, Bridgewater, last night was 3rd. So what do you expect to see from this game, Rock?
It should be a good toss-up. I think the Southern Virginia Knights really want to come out and get their first win of the season, coming off that loss, especially because of how close it was. They don't want to let that happen again. But Shenandoah definitely has some momentum. They're coming off a win against Marymount, so I'm sure it'll be a good game to watch.
Should be pretty evenly matched. And last night, if you remember, the Knights, they came into that match against Bridgewater having lost their first 7 of matches against Bridgewater. They won last year and then lost last night. Well, they've never beaten Shenandoah in 4 previous meetings.
Yeah, and that's over the past 13 years that they've played each other 4 times. Last year they lost 1-3, and then the time before that it was in 2016. So that was a 6-year difference, and they lost 0-4. So it's long-term history, I suppose. And I'm sure the Knights would love to turn that around and really get something started, try to change history a little bit.
Absolutely, and like we always discuss here, ODAC opponents, we love to welcome here on campus. Welcome them here, but we also like to leave them with a loss if we can. In Shenandoah, they're about 2 hours up Interstate 81, so, a university that we know well. Game gets understarted here. Shenandoah moving right to left, donning their white uniforms, and SVU for the first time is in their crimson. That's Tessa Miller, a new starter tonight. She played some good minutes last night. Got four new starters in the lineup tonight. Ball comes back to Tessa Miller here on the near side. She pushes that up to Ellie Owen. Got Mabel Harris working down here on the right side.
Mabel Harris is a good threat. She was the one that scored the only goal of the night for the Knights in yesterday's game.
And that was quite a goal, a shot from 30, 35 yards out.
Oh, yeah, it was a deep one, about 100 feet out.
Madison Solis gets the ball over to Mabel. And Macy Rackham, she's a starter tonight. She came in early in last night's game. She moved into that forward slot and moved McKenna off to the side a little bit, and she had a good game. So good to see her earning a little bit of extra time here in Coach Dahl's system. The Knights getting near the goal, nothing threatening, but it goes out of bounds, and that'll be a goal kick for Shenandoah. Shenandoah's keeper is a senior, Kira Kettlehut. So a lot of experience in goal for the Hornets.
And the Knights are doing a good job of just keeping the ball over on Shenandoah's side, trying to get something started offensively. It's never too early to score, and that's what they're trying to do as quickly as possible.
Well, absolutely. With those changes in the lineup, I think Coach Dahl wanted to see a little bit more attacking a little bit earlier in the match. An attempt to put the ball in the box, and Shenandoah gets that out, pushes that forward. It's number 23 for Shenandoah, chasing that one down. Caitlin Wall makes a cross, and that's intercepted on the back line there. That's number 9, Ellie Thomas.
Oh, some physical contact over there at midfield, is trying to get to the ball.
That's one thing we saw last night, a lot of physical contact. And then in the exhibition on Tuesday night, another ODAC opponent in Randolph Mason also proved to be fairly physical. Looks like we have a foul occurring down just outside the box. Macy Rackham goes down, and she's going to be whistled for the foul. So Shenandoah will restart with the free kick. Ball, Ellie Owen, my mistake, is able to bring that down. First touch tonight by McKenna Winterton. Always dangerous. Tries to open that up, but Shenandoah intercepts. And a good ball down the far side. Caitlin Wall again is able to chase that down for Shenandoah. And defensively, Ella Thomas is able to push that ball out of bounds. It's going to be a corner kick for Shenandoah, the first one of the night.
Yeah, though it's still early in the game, that's a very dangerous situation for SVU. This has a lot of potential of setting the tone early.
A low corner taken. And Ellie Owen steps in front of that. Shenandoah fights, and that goes out of bounds. That'll be a goal kick. Katrina Gardner back in goal tonight. She played the second half Tuesday against Randolph-Macon. Had some good minutes. So she gets the nod tonight. Inslee Anderson played the full game last night against Bridgewater. So Katrina gets an opportunity here to prove herself to the coaches. Tessa Miller opens that up. Mabel Harris lets the defense go by. Kind of a weak pass that gets intercepted there by Elia Jello. And that ball's kicked out of bounds, so it'll be a throw in for the Hornets. .28 for Shenandoah. That's Lexi DeSora. Attempts to put a ball in the box, and that sells wide of everybody. So the Knights put that back in play. Katrina Gardner will look to push this up, and Knights hoping to get something going on the Hornet side of the field. Brought down by Shenandoah. And a ball chipped up by Elia Jello up and over Katrina Gardner, and the Shenandoah Hornets go on the board. Just 8 minutes into this first half.
That kick was placed really well. That would have been a tough one to get. You know, if Inslee Anderson did get to that, that would have been very surprising. That was a very well-kicked ball.
Yeah, that was, the ball seemed innocent enough at the start. She was about 20 yards out, maybe moved up to 15 yards, but on the left side here, Katrina Gardner's right, and she chipped it up and over, almost unsuspecting, and that ball ended up landed in the back of the net. So the Knights are in an early hole here. Look for them to press forward, put more pressure. Macy Rackham wins the ball. She's all alone, just turned the goalkeeper, and she buries it into the left side of the net and evens the score just 20 seconds after Shenandoah.
That was the fastest goal I've ever seen scored after someone else scored. That was ridiculously fast. That was quite a way for SVU to bounce back just like that.
You don't see that very often when you watch a soccer game where one team goes down and scores and immediately on the kickoff able to open somebody up. And she was 1v1 with the goalkeeper and buried it. So that's her first career goal.
I believe that was also the first shot of the game for the Knights in general. You know, they're 1 for 1.
Pretty good percentage.
I can't get any better.
So plays restarted here. Bridgewater came down, and the Knights were able to stop that and take the ball, but now the ball's out of bounds for a throw-in for Shenandoah. And there's a Jello winning that. Back to Madison Bruce. Opens it up, and that's going to be too far out in front of her teammate. It'll be out of bounds for a goal kick for the Knights. You know, we saw the other night, Rock, Macy came in early in the game, probably after only about 10 minutes or so, and then she played a good portion of that game, really helped things offensively, and tonight she gets that, and on her first opportunity, she buried that and gets her first career goal.
Oh yeah, she's a young player with a lot of energy, really wants to prove herself, and I think she just did. You know, the quick bounce back mentality shows a lot in a player, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw her, she was a little feisty the other night, or last night. So she's not afraid to mix it up with, with the other teams, especially if they're upperclassmen. She knows what she wants to do on the pitch. Ball's out of bounds on the near side here. Throw in for Shenandoah. It's number 28, Lexi DeSora. And she puts a ball into the box looking for a jello. And Kat Gardner comes off the line to pick that up to stave off the attack. She'll roll that to Tessa Miller to get restarted. And that ball gets away from the Knights. So another throw in coming for Shenandoah. DeSora again here on the near side. And Caitlin Walls able to chase that down and attempt a cross. That will once again go out of bounds for another goal kick. So after that goal, Rock, we're seeing the Knights having a little bit of difficulty sustaining any type of offensive possession.
Yeah, I think after that they really kind of changed into a defensive mentality. I don't really know why. They need to hop back on offense and get it going.
Just a little messy, it looks like right now on some of their passes. Just a little bit out in front, not quite on the same page. But I'm sure they'll get that corrected here pretty quickly. Shenandoah just moving the ball out about 50 yards from goal. Agello lays it off to the right and across, but no Hornet players making a run there, so Gardner's able to pick that up. The Knights will start all over. Owen, and that's Madison Solis with the ball up. Macy Rackham chases it down. Able to kick that off. Shenandoah defender for a throw-in for the Knights. Mabel Harris will take that. Tessa Harris looking for a Knight, making a run in the middle, but nobody's there. And that ball is intercepted, and the Hornets are now pushing forward. Ball played forward. Haley Gadd shielding number 23, Caitlin Wall from the Hornets to allow Gardner to pick that up. Claire Stevens. She played well against Randolph-Macon and earned a spot back in the starting lineup for tonight. After solid play last night against Bridgewater. Mabel Harris fighting for the ball. She'll keep that from going out. DeSora. Kick that straight to Harris. Harris and DeSora are just going back and forth. And now Madison Bruce trying to start an attack there for the Hornets. Mabel Harris able to control the ball again. Defender tries to take that. And Haley Gadd with a good ball up to Macy Rackham, and she tried to lay a ball out to the far side for McKenna Winterton to chase down. It was just a little bit far, but a good idea. A lot of space over there.
It's been a lot of good ideas. Just like we said earlier, just a little rough on the execution.
Yeah, both teams really not able to sustain possession for too long. Carly Hepner for Shenandoah. She lays that to Caitlin Wall. And she makes a cross into the box. And number 10, Kayla Jenkins is there for Shenandoah. She attempts a shot, but it sails high and wide, harmlessly. And Katrina Gardner, the Knight goalie, will be able to put this one back into play. Gets a good foot on that one, sends the ball well past midfield. Defender steps in front of McKenna. Now McKenna's got it on the far side. Plays the ball into Macy. Macy tries to find Mabel Harris, but the Shenandoah defender's there to send it out of bounds. We'll have a throw in for the Knights. Once again, Rock, we're seeing 1-2 defenders sticking to McKenna over there on that far side and really forcing it, making it difficult for the Knights to get her too involved. A good ball played forward there, but Shenandoah is able to intercept it.
I mean, that was the game plan that Bridgewater had, and it definitely worked out for them as they held SVU to 1 goal. So, I mean, if it's proving effective, why change it?
No, absolutely. You know, she's always, and there's a header off the, and in!
Wow.
So a ball was crossed about 12 yards from goal. And Mabel Harris is there on the other end. So Mabel now scored 2 goals in the last 2 games. And both of them have been really nice goals. She was able to volley that one off her head, up and over a defender and the goalie. Hit the top crossbar, came down, and spun in. So we're not quite 15 minutes into this game, Rock, and we have 3 goals on the board. 2 of them for the Knights and 1 for Shenandoah.
Yeah, this is definitely an offensive type of game. You know, for a little bit, SVU slowed down, you know, just kind of took it easy and played more defensively. But that was great execution. It can't get much better than that. That was a fantastic header.
So Claire Stevens, the player for the Knights that was able to send that ball into the middle to where Mabel Harris could get her head on it. So another one of the substitutions, new starters for tonight. Pays off there for Coach Dahl, making that nice cross into the box. Stoppage in play here on the field.
You know, it's kind of funny. That second goal was also their second shot of the game. So they're 2 for 2. They're staying at the 100% mark right up to that shot.
And there's a cross by Shenandoah. Ball up and again. There's another goal off a header. Very similar, and that had the same look as the first goal Shenandoah scored. You know, just kind of a lazy ball, and somebody was able to get their head on it. She actually headed it straight down into the ground, and it took a big bounce off the turf, up and over Gardner's head, and into the goal. And that goal there was about 45 seconds after the Knights had scored.
Just the execution and then retaliation game. It's, you know, each team is saying, well, you can do this, but I can do it better. Is kind of how it feels.
So in just over 15 minutes now of game time, we have 4 goals scored. 2-2. Tessa Miller looking for Macy. That ball gets intercepted by Shenandoah. Claire Stevens doing work on the far side. She's able to push that through. Courtney Montez there to pick that ball up. Madison Solis over to Mabel. Back to Montez in the middle. And a good ball played there forward by Ellie Owen. Mabel Harris not quite able to track that down, and Shenandoah gets there first and pushes that out of bounds. So we'll have a throw in for the Knights. Tessa Miller will take that here on the near side, about 25 yards out.
That was a good read offensively. They just happened to lose the foot race that time.
Yeah, very good ball played. And there's Macy taking it, and she crosses. No other Knights making a run to the goal, and a long shot there taken by Courtney Montez. She got under that one a little bit. That'll require one of the event staff to have to take a little bit of a hike to go retrieve that ball.
Yeah, hopefully a bear doesn't get to it first.
So Kettle Hut will restart that. Must have had some sort of a foul called as she's out there beyond the goal line to start that. Shenandoah plays the ball forward. That's brought down. And now the Knights are able to intercept that. Shenandoah gets a foot on it. Haley Gadd in a foot race with Ellie Agello. And she's able to stand her ground and let that ball go harmlessly out of bounds. So Katrina Gardner will restart this here from in front of the Knights' goal. Tessa Miller, Madison Solis not able to bring that in, but Knights retain possession. And now Shenandoah retakes possession of the ball. Ball played forward, looking for Agello once again, and Haley Gadd is there to send that out of bounds. So we'll have a throw in again by Shenandoah. DeSora finds Agello. Madison Solis is able to come up and create some space. And Shenandoah sends the ball forward to nobody. And we'll have another goal kick by Gardner. So it's interesting how, Rock, this game seems to be a little messy to this point. You know, nobody really seems to be taking possession. Not a lot of long possessions. But then we have these goals that are coming in just quick spurts. Four of them, happened within, a minute of each other.
Yeah, no, this is... I don't know if I've seen a soccer game quite like this, to be honest. This is, purely offensive for about 5 minutes, and then it changes. It's very strange, but pretty entertaining nonetheless.
Pretty entertaining. It's always fun to watch games where scoring is happening. I don't know if the coaches would agree with us right now, as we're 20 minutes in with 4 goals scored already. I guess the good thing about that is you have 4 players out there that have scored goals for friends and family to watch, and watching at home or here in the stadium itself. Good punch out by Gardner off the corner kick. The first substitution of the night, having come in there on the far side for Shenandoah. Trying to get a number. That's number... And we'll have a throw in now. Mass substitution here for the Knights. 5 players coming in. Number 29, Maddie Staples. Number 7, Mattia Murray. Number 20, Gracie Duncan has come in. It looks like Kaylee Wardle also coming into the game, senior out of St. George, Utah. And number 12, Bailey Ricker, making an appearance for the Knights. So throw in as the ball's on the Shenandoah side of the field. Knights trying to create something offensively. 2 throw-ins. Quickly sent right back out of bounds. McKenna comes up to get that one. And tussle for the ball. Goes out of bounds. And the referee says that'll be a throw-in for Shenandoah. Shenandoah trying to push forward. And nobody is there. And the Knights send the ball out of bounds again for another throw-in for Shenandoah.
Yeah, some solid defense. They're not letting them get a foot on the ball.
Throw comes in and quickly sent right back out of bounds. So we'll have yet another throw-in. Across into the box. Gardner comes out, loses it, and I believe that was Maddie Staples.
You know, that could be a really dangerous situation, having the goalkeeper come out like that to attack a ball, because if, you know, they miss it like she did, that opens up a very vulnerable spot in the goal.
Yeah, she wasn't quite able to get her hands on it where she could punch it out. And that ball ended up going down to her feet, and that's where it can be really dangerous. Rosanna Nielsen, Roxana Nielsen for Shenandoah opens that up. And number 29, Carly Hepner, looking for a runner, but there's nobody there, so that ball goes out of bounds again. Have a goal kick. By Katrina Gardner. Good ball played all the way past midfield. Macy Rackham with a good ball over the top of her head. The Knights chasing that one down, looking for the option to make a cross. Good cross. There's Macy in the middle again, trying to get her foot to it. And Shenandoah is able to go down and get that away from her. Coming right back again with an attack. McKenna, ball on her foot with a shot. That goes a little high and wide. And that's McKenna's first real look at a goal here. I don't think she had a shot that open last night.
No, they got her so covered up that it's hard for her to get any breathing room to be able to take a shot. So I think you're right. I think that was the first shot that we've seen from her.
Able to find a little bit of space there. She's moved back here into the middle now in this configuration where she had been out on that far side. So Coach Dahl making adjustments here, trying to find some space for McKenna to operate in. Not necessarily for her to score a goal, but so she can lay it off, find a runner, and create some options for her teammates.
Absolutely. Just make a play, right? Some playmakers out there on the field.
Definitely. Shenandoah is able to intercept that. Number 33 for the Knights, Natalie Blazer, is coming to the game. Good ball played there forward by McKenna. And that's number 12, Bailey Ricker. Chases that one down, tries to make a cross, and that goes off the Shenandoah defender. And Shenandoah is able to stave off that attack. That's number 29, Carly Hepner. She's had a good night so far for Shenandoah. Maddie Staples playing tough defense on Ellie Agello. Here's Hepner looking for An option, Mattia Murray is able to take the ball away from her. And we'll have a throw in for the Knights. And there's Macy Rackham fighting for the ball. She was really close to being able to push that one up and over that defender's head, and she'd be in 1v1 again, Rock.
Yeah, that defender, I think, misjudged the ball a little bit, and that made her a little bit more vulnerable, but, just barely got to it in time.
And there's a long shot taken by Shenandoah, and that sails just high. And that's how both goals have come from Shenandoah. Just some off-action, lazy shots. And that's how the 2 goals have gone in. And that was another one, just probably about a 20, 25-yard shot taken.
Yeah. Yeah, they're also – the teams are tied at 2 for 3 when it comes to shots and goals. Pretty impressive, Because it's funny because they don't seem to be great quality shots. They're accurate, and they seem to catch the defense sleeping a little bit.
And taken from places that you wouldn't necessarily see a shot taken.
Exactly.
Especially that first one. It was just an awkward angle, a little chip shot that went up and over Gardner's head. Shenandoah takes the ball away again. Roxana Nielsen pushing forward. She lays that off, and there's a cross, and Ellie Agiello is able to get on the other end of that. She takes a wild shot at goal from about 18 yards out, and that goes wide. Gardner ready to reset. So Knights will foul on the play. Good ball sent into the area. Knights possessing the ball, trying to create some space here. Take a little bit of more extra time. Have a throw in. And we'll have another throw in. Substitution coming on. Macy comes out. Annalise Huber has come onto the field for the Knights. And also Abby Klusman. Shenandoah now on their end with a throw in. Knights play tough defense. Ball comes back to midfield. Quite the slowdown in the action here the last 15 minutes, Rock.
Yeah, just those 4 goals within like a minute of each other, and now we're not seeing many results after that. We've seen a couple attempts on the goal, but I think that's really about it.
They spoiled us with the action those first 15 minutes. 4 goals, and now the next 15 minutes.
I guess so.
Not a whole lot, just the the one shot down here by Shenandoah. Then I think we had one through ball for the Knights that nobody could quite get to. Huber with the long throw in. Both teams just volleying the ball back and forth. Madison Solis tries to open it up on the other side, and there's nothing there. Excuse me, that was Natalie Blazer. Also onto the field for the Knights now is number 3, Dasana Grabarczyk. We saw her for some time Tuesday in the exhibition against Randolph-Macon. Shenandoah threatening, but good defense played there by Maddie Staples. Maddie's a tough defender. She always makes sure she keeps her body between the opposing player and the goal. Gardner will send that up. And again, possessed by Shenandoah. They center it. That gets away. Maddie Staples is there to clear that. Good play there by Audrey McKeon.
Got some potential. It's Lauren Fowler with the ball.
Definitely had potential, but now Shenandoah is taking over possession. Natalie Fowler sends it to the middle. And Natalie Blazer wasn't quite able to get to it. Mattia Murray fighting with the Hornet. And Maddie Staples will run that down. Back to Mattia. Knights have a little bit of space here. Good idea there by Audrey. But Shenandoah gets to it first. And a foul whistled there on Shenandoah. So the Knights will have an opportunity to send the ball deep into the Hornet territory. Mattia Murray will take it, make a little bit of run. Tries to get that ball in front of Natalie Fowler, but Shenandoah steps in front of it. Mattia fighting to get it back.
Yeah, they're going to call that one.
Yeah, that is Caitlin Wall, freshman for Shenandoah, that ran right over the top of Mattia Murray. Pretty easy call when you extend your arms and run right up the back of the opposing player.
Yeah, that was practically a shove, but
Knights bring the ball down, a chip shot, and there's Natalie Fowler trying to get to the other end of that. And Shenandoah sends it out for a Knight throw in. Dasana tries to center the ball. Shenandoah is able to take it away, and there's Maddie Staples to stop that attack. Ball taken again by Shenandoah, but that's sent too far forward, so that'll be a goal kick for Katrina Gardner once again. Coming up on just 8.5 minutes left here in this first half. Had about a 22-minute scoring drought since the last goal. Shenandoah continues to work in the Knights' defensive end, but I guess this is where we got to be careful, Rock. Nothing seems too threatening until that. A ball played forward. And misses by a wide margin, so.
Yeah, not a bad idea. I think, they just misprojected a little bit. I don't know if she was trying to shoot or trying to cross and just got to it a little late.
Tough angle for sure. Just trying to kick that as hard as she could and hope that Gardner would mishandle. Good ball. Desana brings it down. She'll chase after it. And Shenandoah will send it out of bounds. So the Knights, just like that, are back deep in Shenandoah territory.
Yeah, that was a quick change of pace. It was almost like they decided to clear it, and then, they started to attack into Shenandoah's territory.
Mattia Murray working against the Shenandoah defender. It's number 34, Sydney Bastian, on the field for the Knights. Good throw in to the area there by the Knights. Audrey McKeon turns and takes an opportunity to try and hit somebody running toward the goal. Goes off a Shenandoah defender, and that will be the first corner kick of the night for the Lady Knights.
Yeah, it's really crazy to score 2 goals before you get 1 corner kick. You don't see that very often.
It seems like Shenandoah's had more, but they've only had 2. Lacrosse comes in, another low cross, and Shenandoah's going to be able to poke that out toward midfield. Maddie Staples comes up from her defensive position. Makes a long pass, a good pass to the other side of the field, but Shenandoah is able to knock that away from the Knights. Natalie Fowler and Mattia Murray gets shoved to the ground. Once again by Caitlin Wall. There must be something personal there between those two. Caitlin Wall is a freshman. Mattia Murray is a sophomore. So I'm not sure where they met up, but that's 2 hard fouls by Caitlin Wall against Mattia. Ella Thomas sends it deep, and there's a long shot on goal from about 22 yards out that sells a little wide again. And foul will be called on the restart. Looks like Audrey McKeon. The referee saying playing a little too aggressive there. Shenandoah attempts to center that, but now back at midfield. Both teams trying to take possession. Shenandoah now has it. A cross coming in from the far side. That misses everybody. And it's number 8 from Shenandoah, Michaela Talbert, making a run to get on the other end of that cross. Takes a shot, number 3, Haley Coyle.
It would have been 3 points for their football team, but
Yeah, tough angle. Made it through the goalpost, right?
yeah.
Shenandoah takes over. Good step up there by Sydney Bastian. The ball goes out of bounds. That'll be a throw in for the Knights. St. Clair Stevens. And we're going to have a foul. So about 44 yards from goal. Not real close, but an opportunity for the Knights to send one in to see if they might be able to clean something up and get a goal. Claire Stevens with a long kick. It was a good ball into the middle, but not one Knight able to get on the end of that.
Definitely had a lot of potential considering how far it was. That was a good ball. Actually.
Definitely a good trajectory and came down right at about the goal line. But the Knights weren't quite able to get there on the other end to try and make something of that. 2 minutes left here in this first half. Shenandoah with the throw in. So, Rock, before we go saying that we just got under 2 minutes here, look for the teams to run the clock out. We might be eating our words the way this first half has gone.
Yeah, super unpredictable. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another goal or two, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see one. This has been probably one of the weirdest games I've ever seen, but amazing at the same time.
I think both teams at halftime will be kind of shaking their heads. It's a tie game, but the fact that both teams have scored 2 goals and both coaches probably think neither goal really should have been scored on them. Got an offsides call here as Shenandoah is trying to play that corner.
1 minute remaining.
So kind of a wasted opportunity there by Shenandoah as the second short kick was right back to the player that took the corner and she was offsides.
Absolutely. 45 seconds left in the first half. See if SVU can make something of it.
Ball goes out of bounds. The Knights have a throw in down to 20 seconds here, where the college game is quite different from the international game. With 4 goals having been scored, we'd have considerable extra time to be added on, but the college game doesn't deal with extra time, so we know this half is going to end right here. And so both teams will go into the locker room having scored 2 goals, but given up 2 goals. Happy that they've scored 2 goals, but probably not as happy that they've both given up 2 goals.
Yeah, a little bit of salt and sugar with the first half, and honestly, I don't even know what to think for the second half just because of how unpredicted this game has gone. They scored 4 goals within a minute or two of each other, and then nothing for the first beginning of the half and the last, like the end of the first half.
Yeah, I'd imagine if we could talk to both coaches here as they go into the halftime locker room, they'd both talk about how they want their teams to take control of the second half. Come out early on in the first 5 minutes, take control, and see if they can, use that to get a goal, to go ahead, and then control the game the rest of the time. So,
absolutely,
should be an interesting second half. We'll go ahead and take a break and wish and hope to see everybody back here with us in about 15 minutes as these two teams will battle another 45. And welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Night Filled as we prepare to start the second half of the Southern Virginia University Lady Night Soccer versus Shenandoah Hornets. The first half that we were just talking. I'm joined now for the second half. I'm Colby Kemp with Nick O'Connor. Nick has been shadowing this week and now gets the nod to don the headphones and, gonna baptize him here tonight. What'd you think of that first half, Nick?
Well, I was excited about it. A lot of good things to talk about, a lot of back and forth. Seemed like the girls were out there revving and ready to go. So here we're looking forward to seeing who can maintain some possession for a little longer, set up some clean opportunities, and I am certainly looking forward to it.
Definitely. The first half didn't seem to have a whole lot of offensive flow for one team or another. Even though there were 4 goals, we felt that the goal just kind of came out of nowhere, and there's an opportunity early for Ellie Agello. She had the first goal of the game on a similar type play where she found herself deep in Knight territory and made a chip shot up and over Katrina Gardner. So we're looking for one team here in the second half maybe to force the issue, take control on the offensive end, and really show that they're here to stay and want to take this game.
That's right. And I mean, like I said, it's about finding those clean opportunities. And I think the opportunities thus far have been looking perhaps a little awkward. But I think these girls, I know certainly their coaches have had a talk with them over the half. And I'm excited to see what they can come up with. The team that figures out how to get those clean opportunities is going to be the team to come home with the win tonight.
That's right. And the Knights here looking to create one of those opportunities. There was a long ball play to Macy Rackham, was able to run it down. Shenandoah sent it out of bounds. Now Shenandoah turning and trying to start and gain some momentum toward the Knights' goal. Good defense there by Claire Stevens. Step up and stop the attack there. Let's see Shenandoah here start with a throw in now just beyond midfield. McKenna Winterton is there looking on, waiting for her defense to come up with the ball, and she'll look to make a run. There's a quick shot attempt by Shenandoah that gets turned away by Claire Stevens. She got in the way of that kick, and it'll be a corner kick for the Hornets. It'll be their 4th of the night.
Another opportunity here. Let's see what they can set up.
An opportunity for a set piece. A good ball in and right into the hands of the Knight goalkeeper. Check, I believe that's Katrina Gardner back there remaining in the game. Yes, it is. She's got the ball cradled in her arms, waiting to get this possession started for the Knights. Waiting for the teammates to get down the field. And she sends a low skidding ball. Gets to midfield, but then it's pushed back, and she's got to come off her line and pick that up about 20 yards from her goal line.
And she hasn't played too far out tonight. Been able to stay pretty comfortable in her box there. That's one of the opportunities I've seen her come out the furthest from the goal so far.
Definitely not a lot of need for her to come out off that goal line, and that Knight defense has been so strong back there that I think the goalies are told to stay as close to their line as possible and not give angles to shots. Foul's called on the Knights. And so Shenandoah will have a free kick here. Already 5 minutes gone in this second half, but so far, Nick, I'd say the flow of play is very similar to what we saw in the first half.
I would say so. A lot of back and forth. Ball going from one end of the field to the other. Some opportunities looking like they're going to come open and then getting shut down.
Good ball. McKenna's able to get to the end of that. She's got Macy making a run. McKenna with a good ball, and Shenandoah is able to turn that one away. That's Tessa Miller fighting for the ball there just beyond midfield. Shenandoah. And the ball gets through, and there's Haley Gadd back on defense, able to push that back toward midfield for the Knights. So throw in here for the Knights. That's Ellie Agello for Shenandoah, trying to get by the Knight defender and create something. And the referee is going to give a foul. So Shenandoah is going to have a free kick from 25 yards out on the far side.
Now, I will say Shenandoah has been pretty good about these set pieces and kicks here. Their placement's been pretty spot on. They've just been unable to finish on most of them.
Yeah, they're starting out pretty deep. Nothing in the box. A lot of times you'll see the offense line up right on that small box. And she goes direct. And Katrina Gardner comes out to her 6-yard line and picks that ball out of the air cleanly. Now she makes a good kick up and beyond midfield, but Mabel Harris unable to bring that down, and that ball sails out of bounds. Haley Gadd back on defense. Sends the ball to Katrina. There's a ball misplayed, and Shenandoah is able to pick it up. And a long shot there. Attempted by number 13, Emily Dendis.
Colby, after the first 15, 20 minutes of this game, after all those goals were scored, these fullbacks, that back line seems to have locked it down. Not too many clean opportunities, not too many good shots able to be taken.
No, absolutely. The Knights really have a good back line, and not just their starters. They have, Maddie Staples plays very well back there. She didn't start the game. She didn't start the second half. But Haley Gadd, she's just been solid back there. She was a freshman last year, and in her second year, she's really shown that she's the leader of that back line. A good ball played up forward there for the Knights, but well offsides there. I think the Knights would like to have that one back.
I would certainly say so. She was quite a ways downfield.
I think Mabel got a little bit ahead of herself there, knowing that she had space out in front of her. And how about that? The Hornets take the free kick and kick it right out of bounds. So the Knights already regain possession. Haley opens that up, and Claire Stevens gets that to the middle to Madison Salas.
I will say, going back to that free kick that went out of bounds, like I had previously mentioned, Shenandoah had been pretty spot on all of those free kicks prior to that moment. Seemed like she was just perhaps trying to be a little too fine with that kick.
That
the
was
sideline a little too tight.
Not even to midfield, and I think all that you could say about that was it was a foul ball. So the foul called out on the field, so the Knights will reset. Haley Gadd looking, long ball to McKenna. McKenna gets between two defenders and pushes forward to Macy. Two Knights making a run. McKenna gets on the end of it, shoots toward goal. Shenandoah is able to get in front and now possess and kick that ball out of bounds. So a promising run there, but Shenandoah is able to get in the front of that and stop it before it got too dangerous, Nick.
Well, that seems to be the story as of late. You know, those defenders just getting in there, shutting it down on either side ever since, like I said, that first 15 minutes of the game.
A dangerous play there. Macy was able to chase a ball down right at the end line and made a cross. And McKenna McKenna didn't quite get to the end of it. The goalie had to make a diving save. It got out of her hands. And the Shenandoah defenders were able to get that ball out of their goal area. So now we're at midfield, and we'll have a throw in by Shenandoah. Ellie Agello fighting there with Claire Stevens for the ball. Knights come away with it. Maddie Salas able to clear the ball, and Shenandoah hits that out of bounds. So here come the Knights trying to start something. Macy had Mabel again streaking onside, but Shenandoah is able to get in the middle of that. Good ball played now to McKenna. Off the foot of Courtney Montez. McKenna makes a cross. And Shenandoah is able to bring that ball down. McKenna sent that cross into Ellie Owen. My bad.
I think that first lead, that first through pass there just had a little too much on it. You know, let our girl outside, allowed the defenders to get set.
Yeah, probably went a little bit further than she intended, even though McKenna was still able to get that with some space around her. Just being a little far forward allowed some of the defenders for Shenandoah to catch up to it. The Knights trying to push something up the far side of the field.
And I think we have to take a moment to realize here, you know, McKenna's got some incredible ability. You know, the game against Macon just not too many days ago, she scored 2 goals, I believe.
Yep, she scored both goals that night. Couple athletic goals. You know, and that's why, you know, we see her so heavily defended. You know, last night, Bridgewater always had 2 defenders around her. Tonight, she's having a hard time trying to get away from what looks to be 2 defenders most of the time. Even when Shenandoah is on offense, their defenders are sticking right around McKenna. Macy making a good run now. She got the ball into the box, looking to make a cross, cuts back, and a shot on goal, just wide.
She got a good foot on it, too.
Yes, she did. She dribbled all the way to the end line, made it look like she was going to try a cross and cut it back, created a little bit of space and an angle, and made an attempt at the far post with that. A good job by Macy. She's really been impressive the last 2 nights in the time that she's spent on the field. She's going to go ahead and take a breather right now as Audrey McKeon, the freshman from Laguna Hills, California, comes in. Shenandoah restarts that. Knights trying to take over possession at midfield, but Shenandoah is able to poke it away until Haley Gadd makes a strong play on the ball, gets it, sends it out of bounds, and it's actually called for a foul on that. Now Shenandoah, good defense there by Courtney Montez to take that away. McKenna making a good run until Shenandoah steps in her way. Claire Stevens able to take possession. To Courtney, back to Claire. And the ball just went over the sideline, so Shenandoah is going to have a throw in.
Now, Colby, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the last 5 to 7 minutes, Shenandoah seems to be having a hard time breaking into the goal box of the Southern Virginia keeper.
Yeah, slowly but surely here, it seems as though the Knights are doing what they can to kind of take over the game offensively, to create a little bit, create some longer possessions than what we've seen thus far. And that should bode well for the Knights. Good ball across there. The Jello's unable to bring that down, so the Knights take that. It's Ellie Owen and a Jello. It falls at her feet, and she spins and takes a shot on goal. But once again, that sails wide and high. Didn't make Katrina Gardner or Coach Dahl nervous at all.
Well, it seemed to have all the makings of good shot opportunity, but she just leaned a little too far back on it before taking the kick.
Natalie Blazer already checked into the game again in the second half. Claire Stevens to McKenna with some space. She opens that up. Good ball laid out there for Audrey McKeon. And Audrey's unable to chase that down and keep it from going out of bounds, so it'll be a goal kick. Just past the end line. That, again, looked to be a little bit of a promising ball there. At least enough to maybe get a cross out of it into the box. Knights have 3 players coming onto the field. Looks like Mattia Murray, Maddie Staples, and I believe that's number 26, Annalise Huber, Kaylee Wardle, number 26, playing on the far side defensively. Excuse us, as Knight has fallen here, and the players are a little bit a ways away from us. It becomes a little bit more difficult to see the numbers. But we'll do our best to get all the names in on the broadcast. Shenandoah on the far side. A ball played toward the goal. And good defense there played by the Knights. And looks like we're going to have a foul called. I believe it was Natalie Blazer that came in and cleared that ball as it was bouncing on the ground about 10 yards from the face of the goal. Katrina Gardner and Shenandoah's taking the ball back. And just like that, Nick, the second we say something, Shenandoah now spending more time in the Knight end of the field.
Well, I suppose that's how it works, isn't it? You say it, and immediately the game responds. I would say both sides here are seeming to settle in after the sun has finished setting over there, over the mountains.
Yeah, nice sunset it was. Such a nice setting here at Knight Stadium. Every broadcast we get to watch the sunset go down, and it's a great place to watch a ball game, whether it's football, soccer, field hockey, lacrosse. Knight Stadium hosts all of those events.
Oh, you couldn't ask for a more beautiful location, more beautiful venue. Look out over the valley and the trees. And get to watch our Knights at work.
And they work there to get the ball away from the Shenandoah player. In doing so, it goes across the end line, and that's going to be a corner kick. It'll be I believe that's the 5th corner kick. And they play it out wide, and a shot is taken on goal that sails well over the goalpost again. Shot taken again by number 13 for Shenandoah, Emily Dindis.
Yes, and with that shot, actually, Shenandoah has doubled the number of shot opportunities that our Knights have. That's 12 shots to 6. But the score holds 2-2.
Yeah, Shenandoah's taken several shots that have been surprise shots, but 2 of those surprise shots happen to find their way to the back of the net. So I think they've been encouraged by that and haven't been shy. So Knights try and create something on their offensive side of the field. Shenandoah is able to take the ball away and push that out of bounds, so it'll be a goal kick. Kittle hits kick. Brought down by Shenandoah. That's Lexia Jello. Knights playing scrappy defense there at the midfield line.
Good clearance there. Seemed to be a start of good opportunity for Shenandoah. Cut short by SVU defense.
High ball played toward the Knights' end of the field, but the Knights are able to gather that in. Just missed on that pass, and Shenandoah plays a long ball toward the far corner. That rolls out of bounds helplessly, and Katrina Gardner will have the goal kick. So we're just approaching halfway through this second half. Quite a different half in comparison to what we saw in the first half, where we had 4 goals scored. We've now gone 30 minutes of the first half without a goal scored. Now another 22 and a half. So it puts us about 52 and a half minutes since we've seen any action.
Well, I wouldn't say there hasn't been any action, just no points scored.
Just no points scored, that's right. So both teams, of course, I don't think either team came to the field tonight hoping for a draw, so I'd expect these last 22 minutes to be pretty hotly contested as we see a substitution there. Or maybe a substitution that's number 12. I believe that's Gracie Duncan back onto the field. Or Bailey Rickard. Bailey Ricker comes onto the field. And she gives chase. But the goalie comes out and sends it away for Shenandoah.
A lovely idea, just a little too much on that ball. Gave the goalie just enough time to get there.
And a foul there, whistled against Shenandoah, so the Knights will have a free kick to start play. It's going to be up the field a bit. Katrina Gardner sends it to the far side. Good move there. Knights get past. Ball played into space. Bailey Rickard chases it down. See if she can create space to get across off her foot. But no, the Shenandoah player kicks it out of bounds, so it'll be a throw-in here for the Knights. An attempt there by the Knights to make a nice cross. But Shenandoah takes possession of that, and now they're on the counterattack. until the Knight defender is able to chase her down and get that ball, send it out of bounds. So that puts an end to that attack, and we'll see 3 substitutes come onto the field for Shenandoah. So both coaches here trying to keep fresh legs on the field here as we come to the last 20 minutes.
Well, I imagine they're in desperate need here for replacement with all the running back and forth they've been doing. Like we've said before, the name of the game today has been quick strikes and taking shots. Not so much long possession.
No, definitely not. A lot of long possessions, so the players are running a lot. We also made mention that this is the 3rd match of the week for the Lady Knights, all 3 coming against tough ODAC opponents. So I would imagine there's some tired legs out there, and Coach Dahl has done his best to keep fresh legs on the field, not wanting to give any advantage to the Hornets. Throw in for Shenandoah. Maddie Staples able to get a foot on that, send it back out of bounds, so we'll have another throw in. And Shenandoah makes a long kick toward the goal from about 35 yards out. That just bounces into the hands of Katrina Gardner. She'll send that past midfield. Audrey McKeon. She battles with the Shenandoah player. Shenandoah player knocks it out of bounds, so it'll be a throw-in for the Knights at midfield. Looks like McKenna Winterton's going to get a little bit of a break. And that's Desana Grabarczyk coming in. Again, we saw her in the first half. Natalie Blazer there battling with the Shenandoah defense. Desana plays that. Bailey Ricker, and Shenandoah plays a long ball toward Katrina, and she's able to come out and get that. No threat. But Tia Murray will try and get things started here for the Knights here on the near side. To Natalie, back to Mattia. Little ball. Bailey Ricker had turned the other direction. So now Shenandoah volleys the ball back and forth around midfield. Desana is able to take the ball back. And
Ruskowski's been providing quite a bit of pressure back there on the Knight forwards, Knight strikers. She seems to be involved in quite a few of the plays that happen out here on their side of the field.
yeah, they've been very good on their back line as well. We've talked a lot about the Knights' defense in their back line, but Shenandoah, they seem to have a lot of confidence in those 2 players that comprise their back line. Shenandoah has possession. Play the ball wide. They'll be looking for a cross here. It's made and goes off of Shenandoah past the end line, so this will be a goal kick for the Knights.
Decent opportunity for Shenandoah. Just too many Knight defenders in the box.
No, they played that well. Got the ball wide into some space, and then it was number 3 for Shenandoah, Haley Coyle, that made a little run, and it looked like she really wanted to pass, and then a shot kind of opened up, but she still laid that off. That's correct. We had a number correction tonight, so that's not Haley Coyle. That is Kirkland Wilson that made that run. Apologize to her. And Shenandoah with another opportunity. Shot well up and over the goalposts, so we'll have a goal kick here to restart play for the Knights. 2 more substitutions, 3 substitutions coming on for the Knights.
Now as we enter the final 15 minutes of this game, I'm wondering if we can see some of the same fireworks we saw at the beginning 15 minutes.
Who knows? That might be what we have here. 15 more minutes of fireworks to end the game. Claire Stevens is back on the field, as is Macy Rackham. Macy plays that ball forward, a little bit too far out in front. I believe that's still Audrey McKeon over there. And Kira Kettlehut, the goalkeeper for Shenandoah, is able to come out and pick that up. She restarts play. A good foot on it. Gets well past midfield. Haley Gadd back.
That was, 40-yard punt there from Kettle Hut?
At least that, maybe a little more. There's a long shot taken by Shenandoah. That was from about 35 yards out. But that flew clean and true into the hands of Katrina Gardner. Claire Stevens now here on the near side. Into Mattia. Claire Stevens comes away trying to find some space. And Shenandoah is just making it very difficult to find any space here. Now a good ball up to Macy. Macy's going to try and outrun the Shenandoah defender to bring that ball, but she's unable to. And a handball there by Kirkland Wilson. More subs for the Knights. Natalie Blazer heads off the field, and McKenna, she'll come in her place. Looks like Audrey McKeon also went off. And Ella Owen back onto the field. No, I was right the first time, Ellie. So restart by Kettle Hut. Courtney Montez applying the pressure, trying to get that ball away.
You know, I got to tell you, Colby, I'm starting to get excited every time I see Kettle Hut touch the ball. I just want to see how far she can get it.
Definitely got a strong leg back there. And now Shenandoah making a run on the far side, looking for space, and the Knights are able to get in front of that, but it goes over the end line, so it'll be a corner kick, and that will be the 5th corner kick of the night coming up for Shenandoah.
Once again, placement has been good on these, just unable to finish. Looks like they're taking a different direction here.
Yep, they play that one short, but there's good defense there by the Knights to take that away on that initial kick. Referee going to go talk to the Shenandoah player. I don't think he brought his card out. I think he just wanted to let her know that it was a little excessive in what she did to the Knight player over there, and he'll be keeping an eye on her. So the Knights restart that. Macy, she's able to get the ball, crosses over to McKenna, 40 yards from the goal. McKenna lays that into space for Claire Stevens. Claire trying to make a nifty move there on the Shenandoah defender. And now the referee says it actually went off Claire. So we'll have a throw in for Shenandoah. Kirkland Wilson, the defender there, with the good work. Courtney Montez fighting for the ball now. Comes away with it. And a ball through to Macy. But Kettle Hut saw that that ball was heading into space, and she was able to beat Macy to that. And there she gives it, one of those patented 40-yard kicks.
Now, I don't know if you've noticed or not, Colby, but just about every time Shenandoah goes to throw the ball in, they're giving the ball to Rizkowski to throw it in. Now, I don't know if there's a particular reason why, but what do you say about that?
She's probably shown that she can throw that ball further than most of the girls on the team, is what I'd imagine. Yesterday in the men's game, the men's team played Dickinson College, and they had several guys that if the ball was on the sideline anywhere within the last 15 yards of the field, they could throw that ball all the way to the box. So it was essentially a corner kick for them. I haven't seen her able to throw it that far, but I'd imagine that's why they put it in her hands. Now the Knights making a little run here. Macy was into some space, but Shenandoah was able to intercept that. McKinnon out midfield. Good ball to Desana. But Shenandoah steps into that and intercepts it. Shenandoah is able to run the ball down in the far corner on the sideline, and then they touch it out of bounds. So the Knights will have the opportunity to throw in as we have another substitute onto the field for the Knights. I believe that's Mabel Harris back onto the field. It is. The Knights lose the ball out of bounds, so throw in for Shenandoah. An attempted ball into the box, deflected by the Knights, played into space, and here comes McKenna with a lot of room in front of her. Macy running through the center of the field at her side. A great through ball, and here's Mabel. Gets the ball on her foot and just not able to get a clean strike on that ball. And I am sure she would love to have that one all over again.
Now, that's one of the opportunities that you dream of.
It wasn't a 100% clear shot. She did have a defender around her that was trying to get the ball from her, but she had as good of a look as she could expect, in this type of a match, the way it's been. But again, we talk about it time and time again. McKenna Winterton there making the run, not afraid to give the ball up and give her teammates a better shot. You got 4 substitutions coming onto the field for Shenandoah. Mabel fighting and comes away with the ball. Gets that into Ellie Owen. One Knight hits the ground. Oh, nifty little run there, but Shenandoah is able to dive onto the ground and poke the ball away. So the Knights are going to move back toward midfield, try and reset the offense. Shenandoah in hot pursuit, not wanting to give up any ground. Katrina comes out of the goal, sends that to Courtney Montez. Collision on the field, and the referee's going to say that's a foul on Shenandoah. So the Knights with a free kick. 5.5 minutes left in this match. Mabel fighting for space out there. McKenna. Good play, nifty move there by Mattia Murray. McKenna gets on the other end of that, but a great defensive play there by Lena Parker.
Colby, I feel that as we come into the final minutes of this game, we're going to see a little bit more aggression coming out of these girls, a few more opportunities taken that perhaps they may not have taken in previous minutes, previous halves. Neither of these teams want to walk out of here with a tie.
No, I'd say at this point here, Coach Dahl has the players on the field that he wants to have on the field right now. He's made his substitutions. I'd be surprised, if there were really any other substitutions here in this last 5 minutes. And we've seen, in the last 7-8 minutes of this game so far that the Knights have been really pressing on offense, trying to find that tiebreaker.
Well, I suppose they only have 4 minutes left to do it.
Referee comes up and has a little chat with Annalise Huber. He wasn't too happy with her defensive effort there. She's also another very good player for the Knights on that back line. The Knights just do not have a shortage of good defensive players. And there it is. Off of the free kick after the foul by Annalise Huber. Shenandoah sends a ball into the 6-yard box. And it hits the ground a couple times before one of the players is able to push that in. There was a lot of traffic there.
No, I have to say it was a beautiful ball by Shenandoah.
It was a very good ball.
And it seemed that on that particular play, the Shenandoah players simply got better jumps off of the kick than the Knights.
Yeah, they were able to crowd around that ball, and the Knights were unable to get a foot on it to clear that ball. So now the Knights have just over 3 minutes. We've seen both teams do this tonight, score within a minute of the opposing team scoring. So it's definitely not impossible, but not the way they wanted to see that ball bounce here in the last 4 minutes.
No, but if this game has been anything, it's been a game of strike and retaliation. So
good ball played. They're just a little ahead of McKenna. Mattia Murray now takes over. Courtney Montez, she'll look. Try and create something.
Knight fans don't seem too happy about that call.
Knight fans were not happy with that out of bounds call. Looked like it had come off the Shenandoah player. Tessa Miller. Shenandoah intercepts that long pass. Mattia hits the ground. Nothing called. 22 grabs McKenna. McKenna runs off into space, waiting and hoping for a pass that she can put to the back of the net, but it didn't come. So now Ellie Aigello back for Shenandoah. Right now the ball is just spending too much time in the Knights' defensive area.
Jello and company are looking to close the door on the Knights. Looking to place one final nail in the coffin. Seems as if they've decided that the Knights have spent more than enough time on their side of the field.
Long throw in for the Knights with a minute left. Shenandoah is going to be content to just kick anything they can out of bounds here and spend the time. Watch it go off the clock. As they once again send that ball out of bounds. Under 40 seconds now, the Knights. Mabel trying to find a shot. Led off. Courtney Montez will take a long shot that sails wide with 25 seconds left on the clock. I think it's going to be difficult for the Knights to gain another possession as the goalie is going to sit in her box.
No, Kettle Hut's not in any hurry here.
They have stopped the clock for a substitution. The clock's restarted. 15 seconds. And now we see the last 5 seconds melting off the clock. And that will do it here from Knight Field. A hotly contested soccer match between the Lady Knights and the Hornets of Shenandoah University, which sees Shenandoah score a late goal to take the match 3-2. So, a long week of soccer for the Lady Knights. They played exhibition on Tuesday, 2 games the last 2 nights. How do you feel the Knights are going to go into this weekend as they await to take on Mary Washington next week?
Well, they can't be content, Colby. After today's game and, the previous, these Lady Knights are going to be hungry coming into the next game. They don't want to see any more games slip away like tonight's.
No, absolutely. I talked to Coach Dahl yesterday, and he said he schedules difficult games on purpose. He wants his teams to be facing the highest competition. He wants them in the heat of battle. So he got what he wanted once again tonight. A tough game against a tough opponent. And while they might be disappointed with the outcome, there's undoubtedly things that he's learned about his players. He's learned about his team. And he's a good coach. He's going to figure out what the right mix is and what he needs to do to prepare them for the rest of the season. As we mentioned here, we'll have the next game here Wednesday night at 7 p.m. as these Lady Knights will take on the University of Mary Washington, another rival. Not a conference rival, but definitely a rival that they've played several times over the years. So for Nick O'Connor, I'm Colby Kemp. We will sign off, hoping to see you again on our broadcast Wednesday night at 7 p.m.